Shalom, shalom, shalom. It's your fellow servant, AHBAD from AHBAD, Jamaican Petersburg, Florida. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to YAHAWASHI, double honors to my elder apostles, the great millstone, who rule well, singing under salutation to all you sincere brothers, constantly preaching words of sincerity and full corners in the earth. I also want to say peace and blessings also be all the sincere men, women, and children who do consist of the 1/3. Members of the body of YAHAWASHI, and peace and blessings also be to all of you confusing the faces out there in the four corners of the earth as well. Shalom. Just came across this article, and it's just something I just wanted to speak on really quick. And it really goes back into Bible prophecy. It just goes to show that the so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans are far more than what we are perceived according to the society. Salakia. And this is coming from a teacher in Mississippi. I believe I think she's a middle school teacher, if I'm not mistaken. It says, this is from the today.com. This was published February 14th. It says, teacher creates an inspirational Black History Month classroom door decoration. First and foremost, we're not Black. All right, we're Hebrew Israelites, so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, these so-called today, you would be from the tribe of Judah. Understand? Okay, and there's no such thing as a Black history. You have Israelite history, and our history is the Bible. Point blank, period. Now, you get to the point. It says, when Javon Bradshaw, a high school math teacher, saw a meme about slavery shared on her social media feed, she decided to carry on the message to her students in a bold way. And this was the message right here. All right, if you could look on the right-hand side of the screen, it says, dear students, they didn't steal slaves. They stole scientists, doctors, architects, teachers, entrepreneurs, astronomers, fathers, mothers, sons, daughters, etc., and made them slaves. Call Lord like YAHAWAH, and that is very true. And that doesn't only, stand for just you so-called Negroes, because on the slave trade you had the so-called Negroes, tribe of Judah, the so-called Jamaicans, your people from the West Indies, so to say, would be Benjamin, the tribe Paul is from, and the priests, the Levites, which would be you Haitians, okay, so-called Haitians. But not just you, also, they even came here and they destroyed the other 10 lost tribes, basically Issachar, Naphtali, Simeon, Asher, Gad, Reuben, Zebulun, those other tribes too as well. All right, but nonetheless, though, I'm not going to make this too long. I just want to pull out a few points here. All right. Now, as you can see, that is true. Exactly what was stated right there. That was absolutely true. Let me see if I can open this up. Open this thing by itself. All right. Oh, this is posted on Facebook, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Now I'll just go back to the regular article. Now let's go into a couple key points here that I actually would like to prove. This is from a book called Nature Knows No Color Line, okay? It's a book a lot of brothers are familiar with, and it basically goes into how there was a quote-unquote Black, but not really a Black, and Israelite presence during the Middle Ages of the Dark Ages, from around 187 BC, AD, up until like 1450, really all the way to like 1700s, man. We really been there for a very long time, so to say. Now, to get to the point, this is what I want to go into. Right here, Salakia. It says, as regards, this is on page 65 from Nation Knows No Color Line, and it says, as regards Christian Spain and Portugal Negroes. All right, let me make this a little small real quick. All right. It goes on to say, Christian Spain and Portugal Negroes were imported in droves from 1440 until the abolition of slavery in Portugal in 1773. All right, and that's another cut too. Talk about slavery. Oh, your own people sold you into slavery. The first slaves came to the first Israelites that was forcibly brought over here on slaves, because we're not slaves, so to say, but we are, according to the prophecies, came from Portugal and Spain. But they don't say, oh, you a Portuguese American, you a Spaniard American. No, they always say you're African American. All right. Anyways, it says, before the discovery of America, the Negroes, the Israelites, already were cutting sugar cane in Andalusia and in Seville. That's I believe that's in Spain. Okay, beneath Spain, if I'm not mistaken. All right, you can always look it up on the map. there was a municipal council of native Negroes, Israelites, with fraternal orders, kings, and overseers. The Negro Israelites, mainly the Southern Kingdom, came first to the Indies from Spain, not from Africa. Okay. Now, the point I want you to look at when it said they had fraternal orders, kings, and overseers, man. So that goes to show you that when they brought us here, we were already an intelligent people. But the stigma, oh, we saved you. You were living in the jungle. You were monkeys and all this and that. That's just something that Esau, this tactic he used against our people, man. Because they stole our history and they hid our history from us. So they just tell us anything. Understand? So now I want to go into this book. Right here is called Black Pioneers of Science and Invention. Okay. The water from the brother that was down the camp. Brother, he let me borrow this book. But I'm gonna pull out a few key points just to prove that what was said also in the other book, Nature Knows No Color Line, actually lives up to what this says right here on this door. All right, let me get to the point though. This is what page? I think it's like the third page, forgive me. I forgot. In those days, this is talking about Benjamin Banneker, okay? In those days, it was possible to acquire land in that way. It was extraordinary for a woman to do so, especially by herself. But when Molly Walsh was no ordinary woman, after obtaining the land, she went back to the coast and purchased 2 male Africans from a slave ship. To really get the point of the matter, this lady is really the grandmother. It's the grandmother of Benjamin Banneker. But she actually was an Edomite woman. This is crazy. To the story, man, it go to show you, man, that Esau only write the narrative to make you think what they want you to think. She married one of the slaves, one of the Israelites, who became Benjamin's grandfather. Molly and her husband worked on their farm, and by dint of great effort and wise planning, made it very successful and productive. They raised mainly tobacco and used their product to buy more land. Her husband, Banneker, later changed to Banneker, was of royal African blood. But not African, he was an Israelite, okay? So she married a so-called slave, which would be an Israelite, but he was from royal blood. And what that goes to tell you right here, like I just brought out in this book, Nature Knows No Color Line, it said that native Negroes, Israelites, with fraternal orders, kings, and overseers, all right? Are not we called the princes of the power? All right, Israelites, sons of the living God, okay? So let's go back. And he brought with him much of the African, Israelite culture and agricultural knowledge. That's what I want to look at, the agricultural knowledge. All right, so that goes to show you, when you look at this picture over here, this is absolutely true. They didn't steal slaves. They stole scientists, doctors, architects, teachers, entrepreneurs, astronomers, fathers, mothers, sons, daughters, etc., and made them slaves. Sincerely, your ancestors. And when they say make America great again, we made America great, period. Just period, man. If it wasn't for us, America would not be what it is. That goes back to ancient Egypt. Why did ancient Egypt flourish? Because the Israelites was there. Every kingdom that was flourishing during the ancient times, we was there, so that's why they flourished. Because the Lord put them over us in the stead, because we was going off. We was sinning, you know. This included the art of irrigation, and when neighboring farms suffered from lack of rain, losing their crops as a result, the Banneker farm flourished and prospered. All right. Now, let me go to this is an aliment, okay, from Banneker, all right, Benjamin Banneker. Now, Benjamin Banneker, he also at one point it was a man. He presented to him a pocket watch, and he was fascinated with. He was so fascinated, the man gave him the watch. And what he did, he took the watch apart and put it together to the point that he actually made the first clock in the United States, and he made it out of all wood. All right. And this is some information right here on Benjamin Banneker. Who came up with the Farmer's Almanac? Well, Benjamin Banneker was a self-educated scientist, astronomer, inventor, writer, and anti-slavery publicist. He built a striking clock entirely from wood, published a Farmer's Almanac, and actively campaigned against slavery. He is one of the first African Americans, he was one of the first Israelites to gain distinction in science. Okay, and then earlier, like I was showing right here, Okay, when we was living over in Portugal and Spain, where the first book was, where the first slaves came from, they said we lived in fraternal orders, kings and overseers. And when you go into this book, Black Pioneers of Science and Invention, Benjamin Banneker's grandmother was an Edomite woman, and she always would go to the coast. She would purchase 2 slaves, and she married one of her slaves, so to say. He was, he was an Israelite, and he was of royal African blood. All right, and then she had a daughter, and her daughter did the same exact thing to the coast, basically purchasing a slave, an Israelite, and she had a child with him, and that child was Benjamin Banneker. All right, so that go to show you, man, that yes, when you read this sign right here, they didn't steal slaves. They stole scientists, doctors, architects, teachers, entrepreneurs, astronomers, fathers, mothers, sons, and daughters, etc., and made them slaves. That's exactly what happened. All right, because we already had an established order amongst ourselves, and we already had the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. When the Englishmen came, the Puritans came to Gad, the so-called Native Americans. How do you think they were? They taught them how to eat with utensils, taught them how to clean and bathe themselves, taught them how to agriculture the land, how to do agriculture towards the land. They taught them a lot of things, and then they stabbed them in the back, and that's where you get the term Indian giver from as well too. Now, not only just the so-called Negroes, okay. Not just the so-called Negroes was just these wonderful things, scientists, doctors, and things of that nature. Even the Spanish-speaking tribes, man, the Northern Kingdom. All right, it says Hispanic heritage and inventions. I'm gonna bring out some precepts after this though. It says born in Guadalajara, Mexico, Guillermo Gonzalez Camarena was granted a U.S. patent for what? For making a chromoscopic adapter for television equipment. So when you at home watching your TV, man, why you think you got color? Because Issacharite, a so-called Mexican, created it. All right, here it is. This is born in Argentina. This is a tribe from Naphtali, Miguel Angel Undetti, Salaki. He came up with the angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitor to treat hypertension. Like I said, these are things, and they have patents for this. These are things that the so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans came up with. But today, they won't give you that recognition. Another Israelite from Peru, he will be from the tribe of Naphtali, okay? He created an artificial bubble that improves the intensive care of high-risk newborns, man. All right? And born in Puerto Rico, okay? William R. Campiano. This is an Ephraimite brother, man. He got a patent for the compression molded composite guitar soundboard. And these are things that they won't teach in school, but they'll be quick to call us niggas, wetback, coons, and all that. You talking about make America great again? We made America what it. We made America what it is. We are the Hebrew Israelites, man. Born in the Dominican Republic. I'm not gonna read all of them. This is just a couple more. This is from the tribe of Simeon. Electrical switching apparatus and terminal connector assembly thereof. In other words, when you walk inside your house and it's dark and you flip on that light switch, lo and behold, a Spanish-speaking brother, a Simeonite brother, came up with that. It was one in here where they had a sister too, a Spanish-speaking sister as well, but I don't know where it's at. Right here, another brother from Ephraim, alkaline battery. Containing a separator of a cross-linked polymer of vinyl alcohol. I don't even know what that means, but we made it, you know. So that's just the point I'm trying to get at, you know. Collapsible hammock. What else? Polyamides. I don't know what that is, to be honest with you. One of them even went off and made an oral contraceptive for the birth control pill. You know, even in wickedness, our people were still helping Esau out, man. All these beautiful, wonderful inventions that our people made, man. Born in Spain, Jesus Maria Sanchez Perez, a serial genographic. Man, I don't know what that is. All I know is that we actually living up to what this says on this door, man. All right, and I'm gonna bring out some precepts real quick. Spirit and power, YAHAWASHI. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. And these are our labors too, man. These inventions that we made, okay? The almanac, saving lives, Even building up this entire country, they'll be quick to say this is our country. You didn't even build the country. We built the country, all right, off the blood, sweat, and tears of our people, man, because we went against our power. YAHAWASHI, M.A.G, you know, so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. So we were forced into slavery. But everything you see today, like all these common inventions, we created those common inventions, okay? All right? And you just put your names on it. That's all you do. But here it goes. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation so far beyond all that they look for. Because now the time is coming up where the Lord is raising up his people. And now we're letting Esau, Edom know, because the Lord is pouring out his spirit upon all flesh. Joel 2:27. Listen, we are the Hebrew Israelites. You brought us into slavery. And guess what? Revelation 13 chapter, the 9th verse and 10th verse says that he that leadeth to captivity shall go in his captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience in the faith of the saints. And all of our labor that you never made, that you never took account for, all of it's going to be destroyed anyway. Thermonuclear warheads, by thermonuclear warheads, according to the scripture, according to what YAHAWASHI has said, man. And all of these things are true. They come into pass as we speak. I'm gonna just jump down to verse 4. It said, we fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. Exactly, because all they want us to remember, especially even when you talk about Black History Month. Come on, that's stupid. What about the Spanish-speaking tribes? What about the so-called Native Americans, man? All right, and then on top of that, they give you the smallest month, the month with the least amount of days in it. Then on top of that, in the same month, what they have, I think they have President's Day. If I'm not mistaken, then they have Valentine's Day, and all they do is teach you about, you always looking for rights, all right? You always trying to be equal, you know? The death of the murder of Martin Luther King, well, he was wicked anyway, he was with the Boule, and what happened to Malcolm X, and showing pictures of it being hosed down, and this was the first Black man, and this was the first man. That's nothing. Who were we prior to you bringing us here? That's what you don't want us to realize who we are. We are a royal people. All right, we literally are descendants from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's who we are, man. We're not Puerto Rican. We're not Dominican. All right, we're not Black. That's a color, man. I'm tired of hearing that. All right, we're not Jamaican. We're not Argentinian. We're not Chilean. We are the Hebrew Israelites of the Bible, man. All right, so going back to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 4 again. We fools counted his life madness and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of God, and is his lot among the saints? Exactly. Yes, we are the saints. That's why. Therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness have not shined unto us, and the sun of righteousness rose not upon us, man. All right. And this, I'm gonna read this last one and go to the next precept and I'm close out. We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction, exactly, by trying to destroy us. And you wearied yourselves to that. You completed that task very well. Going to Micah 2:1, man. Yea, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Lord, we have not known it. Exactly. Same thing with YAHAWASHI in the ancient days. All right, when they were saying he was a blasphemer, he was a liar, and when YAHAWASHI said it is done, he gave up the spirit, and when the ground rent, even those centurions, those Roman soldiers said this was a just man. All right, because if you would have known the knowledge of the Lord, you wouldn't have done this thing that you have done. But Esau, you knew who we were. You know we your brother. The scripture speaks about you praying the Lord that we were sold, that you sold, became rich, man. So hey, man, you're not exempt. All right. This is Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 19. It says, the portion of Jacob is not like them. Jacob is so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, and confusing the faces. For he is the former of all things. That's written in the scriptures, man. And Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. All right. And I'm going to read this. Thou art battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. So when you watch these superhero movies, these Marvel and all these little action heroes, yo, they get that from us. That's us, man. When David said, blessed be the Lord who teacheth my hands to war, he said by his strength, man, he can bend a bow of steel or iron. Come on, don't Superman do that? He said by thee I had leaped over a wall. We talking about a wall in the kingdoms in the ancient times, man. Think about them tall walls in them kingdoms and castles. Why do you think they said Superman in one single bound he could leap over a building? They getting that from the scriptures, man. All right. David said he ran through a troop. When you be watching the movies, man, when the 300 men was running through them Lacedaemonians, that was us, man. It speaks about the Lacedaemonians in the Apocrypha, in the book of Maccabees, man. The Lord gonna turn us into threshing instruments of war, man. But Gabe, nonetheless, though, you didn't. This is the whole moral of this video. Dear students, dear Israel, I'm gonna say, they didn't steal slaves. They stole scientists, doctors, architects, teachers, entrepreneurs, astronomers, fathers, mothers, sons, daughters, etc., and made them slaves. All right, that's exactly what they did to us, man. All right, but nonetheless, though, we will get our vengeance in that day. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to YAHAWAH by Hashem YAHAWASHI, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to my elder apostles at Great Millstone who grew well. Single honor salutation to all you sincere brothers pushing this word to sincerity. Peace and blessings to the 1/3. And I also want to say peace and blessings to all you confused in the faces at the four corners of the earth. You are royalty. You are beautiful people. All right? Stop hating yourself, man. Realize who the enemy is. And not only just you are your own worst enemy, but you also have a nemesis. That's Esau.